Hi everyone, it's Spurs Rail 96 here. Hope you're doing well out there. Welcome to another Train Sim World live stream. Today I'm taking a look at another new DLC that I've picked up fairly recently. It came out to the public a while back, and that is the second DLC from Alan Thompson Simulations, a very significant locomotive add-on. Was its second ever UK freight locomotive, which is the BR Class 90 for the West Coast mainline south route. So we're going to take a look at it and see what it's like. So it comes with its own timetable. Is that it? Just 799 complete services? Is that all the trains? What's that? 152, 25, 38, 166, 336, 38, and there's the Class 90, just 15, is that it? Wow, that's not a lot. You get a few different liveries there. Deutsche Bahn blue and red, Freightliner green, albeit in an old livery and a new livery. And you get a Freightliner grey livery too. Okay. Is it in any of these? Not even a reduced one? Nope. Is it in this one? No, it's not in that one either. This one? It's not in that one either. Is it in any of them? It's not even in the original one. No, it's not. Oh, that's disappointing. Is it in any? Has it been integrated into any of the any other timetables? Let's see if I can find it in a minute. Not so much stuff. So there it is. Pick a red one. So that's it. The only route you can play it on, if you want to do timetables, is the West Coast Mainline South. Oh, that is very disappointing, I have to say. Okay. We're not off to a good start. It does come with its own tutorial, and I believe a set of scenarios for this route. Or does it? Yeah, it does. Rescue team on go. A shift full of changes. Christmas delivery. And that's all. Is that it? 1, 2... Yeah, just 3 scenarios. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, we might as well take it for a spin. See what it's like. Let's try the Freightliner one actually. Let's give that livery a go. See, what have we got here? We got some preparation shunting duties. Wembley to Milton Keynes to Wembley, Wimbledon up and downs goods loop to Milton Keynes to Wimbledon. There's a 2-part service there. It's quite interesting. Camden Junction to Willesden, up and down goods, and then that's from Willesden to Milton Keynes. Okay. Let's try. Let's try that one. 1425. Let's give that one a bash. Say in August, some cloud. Okay. So it's currently available on PC, Xbox, what is it, Series S and X, and the PlayStation 5. Is at a fairly reasonable price. I remember I did a news video on it quite a while back, and I was quite shocked of how fairly priced it was. £12.99 when I thought it was going to be like nearly 20 quid, considering it was from a third-party developer, Alan Thompson Simulations. So we're off to a good start as regards to the price. I think, considering it's the, like I said earlier, the second ever freight locomotive in Train Sim World, and we have to keep in mind that the 66 has been out pretty much since Train Sim World was a thing. The 66 came with the Great Western Express DLC way back in, was it, nearly 10 years ago. So a new freight locomotive has been long overdue, I have to say, and now we've got an option finally to use on freight services. We have not only a Class 90, a 66, and obviously the millions of deliveries that the 66 has, but we've also got a Class 70 coming from All Aboard Studios, which I'm very keen to check that out as well. So I presume all these freight services are just intermodal trains. It doesn't specifically say what kind of freight we are pulling up and down the West Coast Main Line. Okay. Let's have a look around the cab. Okay. So this is the headlight control here. Set that to the day position. This is where the master key would go. You can hear the train starting to fire up, come to life. Unless that's a train from outside. Sounds good. I like that. What have we got here? Parking brake, that is... set that to the off button. Cab temperature, heat, vent, or cool. Let's have it in cool since we're in the midst of a heat wave, eh? The direct brake. We'll release that. Cab airspeed. Might as well set it to low. Wheel slip and slide, that's good. Brake overcharge. A foot warmer. Demisters, tail lights, marker lights we will need on. Clipboard. Oh, I like the sound that switch makes. Cab lights, you can just see the lights going on and off there. That's a good noise too. Instrument lights, dim or bright. Okay. I have to say the cab doesn't look too bad. It's modelled fairly accurately. I don't know, does this locomotive come with a manual? I don't think it does. We've got PASCOM here. Pantograph, I presume, is up, considering we're getting power, fire exit delay. ETC, okay. ETC on or off. Okay. There's a DRA. Yep, that works. Okay. So how many notches of braking have we got? Full service, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Let's check the wipers. Where is the wiper switch? Is it down here? Oh, that's the emergency brake. There's the wipers. Yeah, sounds okay. can hear a bit of a loop because it only squeaks and then it stops and then it does it again. Yeah, like then. Let's put it in park. Turn it to off. You got the GSMR radio. Increase the volume. Sounds a bit different at GSMR radio in terms of the switches and the buttons. You can lift the armrest. It's pretty neat. What's this here? Contact the signaler, that usual usual stuff. I presume you have to put obviously the armrest up so you can get out of the sea. What have we got here? We've got some signage there, high visibility jackets, albeit that sign's a little bit on the blurry side. Same for this panel here. No functionality with those buttons though, by the looks of it. This looks a little bit better, this safety equipment sticker, covered sticker and emergency equipment. Okay. Cleanliness, absolutely essential. Okay. It's not the sharpest stickers I've seen, but you can read it, which is positive. Here's a cab light here. I don't look bad to it. It's got a kind of a warm tinge glow to it. That's pretty good. What are these? Safety lights. Wonder if they work. What's this here? AWS and TPWS. Giving me. Okay, so that is on. Is that where the actual switches are located? I presume it is. What have we got here? Oh, the operator's interface. Ooh, can you mess around with that? I imagine there's a camera view for that. Data cord. Yeah, you can. Okay, so train length. Push switch to begin. Press enter to edit. In theory, it should be already set up for us, considering this is a train. Well, where's it come from? Trafford Park in Manchester. How long is our train? How long is our train? 517.8 yards. Wait, come back here. I don't want to mess with that. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, well, that sucks. How do I go back? Oh, that's how you do it. What was it? 517, wasn't it? That's in yards, though, isn't it? What is it in feet? What's 517 yards in feet? It's 20 past 9 at night. I can't think. Hi, Mark Moss. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. I've got to look it up now. Give me a second. 517.8 yards in feet. 1,555 feet with 4.8 inches. Okay. I will enter it. 1,553. Where's the point? I'll just put that 5,000. Yeah, that'll be alright. Push the switch to begin. The switch button. Where would that be? Is it that one? I'll just push every button. Maybe that one. On. Oh no, that's the brightness. That one? That one? That one? Is it that one? That one? Where is the switch button? The switch button. Where's that then? It's gotta be one of these, isn't it? Oh, is it this? What's that there? What is this? They don't work either. Okay. What about over here? What have we got? The guard phone. Ooh, cool is that? Switch button. It's got to be. It's got to be on here. If I turn that on, maybe. I don't know. No, it's got to be in the engine room, the machine room, right? How do you get in? Oh, is it not modelled? Is the machine room not modelled? Seriously? I thought it would be. You think it would be modelled? Because that's where you know, some of the essential like switches are, like, you know, DST. So how the hell do you turn on DST? Either way, it's reset itself. Well, that sucks. What have we got? What's number 2? So you can only do train length. And that's it. So how do you do DSD then? If the machine room isn't modelled, then DSD must not be simulated, right? Let me check the. Oh, I mean, there's no manual, is there? Which sucks. I mean, every time a new product comes out these days, it seems as less. You know, there's less manuals, which sucks. Let me check the Steam page. Surely it must say, right? When in doubt, look to the Steam page. That's what I'd say. I mean, I'm holding the entire timetable up, but considering it's not that busy compared to the default timetable, it won't matter, will it? Huh. Train Sim World. Where is it? There it is. Now I just got to skip through its articles and try and find Class 90 freight locomotive. Here we go. Alright. Let me read what it says. This add-on highlights its freight capability, yada yada yada, comes in many different levels. Systems and interactive features. You'll have elements familiar with players, the train sim world, da 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 da. The throttle and brake handles are similar in design to the HST, da 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 da. Bring framework some switches to the left of the driver's seat and the interactive operator interface for train length. Unlike those seen in the Class 66, players may almost notice what look like shunting controls in the cab by in the door. In reality, these have been isolated out of use for many years and cannot be interacted with. Okay, that's fine. So the switches here, they are what are they? They are the like switching control, shunting controls, basically, for the locomotive. So, if that is correct, what Dovetail is saying, The reason why you can't use that is because the drivers do not use the shunting controls in real life, and apparently haven't been used in many years. UK safety systems are fully modelled, including TPWs, AWS, and DSD. Where can you turn on DSD if the machine room isn't modelled in, as well as new working speed set features and an interactive GSMR radio? As the machine room is not modelled, which sucks, the DSD isolation switch is activated by interacting with the noise level warning sticker on the machine room door to represent a driver entering the room to enable or disable it. So this sticker here? Oh. What a pathetic way to enable DSD or, turn it off and on. I'm sorry, but that is a joke. There is no excuse for that. There is no excuse in modelling a machine room where essential switches are located and you can't be asked to, it's essential, right? I mean, come on. I mean, Dovetail can even model a machine room for the freaking Acela Express. Granted, there's an invisible wall in it, but at least they've modelled it, right? And you can go, open the door and go into the machine room, albeit just a tiny bit, and enable the safety system switches for the Acela Express, like, what is it, the alert, the signalling system. With this you can't. That is incredibly disappointing, I have to say. If that isn't cutting corners or just, I don't know what is, but if that isn't a clear representation of cutting corners, then I don't know what is. That is a big shame. I am disappointed with that. I mean, this is from a third-party developer. This isn't from Dovetail. This is a third-party developer. If it was like Dovetail, I would be disappointed but not surprised. The fact it's from a third-party developer, Alan Thompson Simulations no less, you would think the locomotive would be modelled properly, interior and exterior. I'm sorry to ramble on a bit and get a little bit pissed off, but yeah, that isn't good enough. Not in my book. That's a shame because it really lets it down. It really lets it down. I mean, this is the second ever freight locomotive in TSW. Players have been asking a new freight locomotive for, nearly a decade. It finally arrives, and from a third-party developer, no less, the expectations should be pretty darn high. You gotta meet those expectations. That is very disappointing, I have to say. But a functioning, what was it? GSMR radio, guard phone, DSD test. What does that do then? Again, there's no manual, so I'm purely winging it. But the brakes, obviously, you can see work. It's got similar dials, I think, to the Class 66, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, with that disappointment of the machine room not modelled out of the way, let's take a look at the exterior. So this is in the newer green Freightliner livery. So we've got two locomotives at the point of this intermodal train. Both have the newer green Freightliner livery. I mean, it looks correct, I'll say that, and it's modelled fairly well. I think the models themselves of the locomotives and rolling stock has always been a strong um, draw for Trade Sim World. The modelling they get pretty spot on regardless what developer it is. And look at that warning sticker there, that's sharp as anything. Danger of overhead long wires. I like the fact there's a bit of weathering to it. Makes it feel worn out, ridden hard, done hundreds of, I mean, these freight locomotives do hundreds and thousands of miles in its life, if not millions. But the model looks pretty good. I mean, obviously the decal when you get right up close is a little bit on the not so high resolution side, but from a distance, like, yeah, it doesn't look too horrendous. This model's very good. Look at that. Apparently it's also got a newer suspension physics built from the ground up for this locomotive, so I'm very keen to see how that feels. So I think, without further ado, let's get going. Take it out for a spin. There we go, it's moving. Properly stick on the front camera, I want to hear those sounds. Once it gets going, it sounds pretty good. Sounds loud. Hear those running sounds as well. The sounds in the cab are really good. Sounds really, really good. I think the horn's a bit of a disappointment though. It doesn't sound... I mean it sounds right, but it just doesn't have that depth to it. Sounds a bit... I don't know, it just sounds like it's lacking a bit. But other than that, the sound of it, you know, going from a standstill and accelerating at full power, I like that. So our first location we've got to go via is Watford Junction. It's 29 miles away. I mean, this locomotive came out, what was it, March? Was it March time that this locomotive came out? Let me just reduce the speed a minute. Was it March it came out, this locomotive? I think it was like, was it March? I think it was March, wasn't it? Let's check the brakes out. I mean, this isn't a long train. It's not a long freight train. Let's hear it run by at speed. see the needles there moving up and down as we apply more power or apply less power. So at least that works, that's good. As soon as I turn the power off, the needles go straight back down into the bottom. I'd like to check out the other liveries of this locomotive, see what the other liveries look like. Maybe when I get to the yard I can delete this train and stick on the others and have a look at the other liveries. Hi, Chris Martin. Nice to see you. Hope you're well. Just taking a first look at the Class 90 electric freight locomotive. And so far it's a mixed bag, I'll say. The fact that this locomotive has, what, just 15 services, it puzzles me why there's nearly, what, over 100 services taken out of the original default timetable. I wasn't expecting this locomotive to be embedded into the newer timetables made by All Aboard Studios for this route. That is, if you have the Class 805 and 807. But for some reason, Alan Thompson Simulation or Dovetail chose to make this timetable feel like it's on the quiet side. I mean, we're coming up to what, nearly afternoon rush hour / early evening, so yeah, it's certainly lacking busyness, that's for sure, on this particular timetable. It just baffles me. Like, the sensible thing to do would have been just stick in, I don't know, 15 or, I don't know, 25, or maybe pushing the boat a bit out, maybe 35 Class 90 services, and bed that into the default timetable. I think I would have been happy with that. And also, if this locomotive has been out since March, what has Alan Thompson Simulations been doing? Like, we're in what, August now, and this has not been, how should I say, implemented into other timetables. I was expecting at the very least by now, like I said, we're in August, for this locomotive to have additional services on Alan Thompson Simulation's very own route, Manchester Airport Commuter, which this locomotive would run to and from, say, I don't know, Piccadilly to what was it, Trafford Park or something like that. I'm not sure. I mean, there's certainly other electric routes you could run this locomotive on, the North London line being an obvious contender. The East Coast Main Line, that would definitely give that route a much needed pick-me-up in terms of what you see out on the line. And obviously the West Coast Main Line West Midlands route and the West Coast Main Line Trent Valley route. So it's a bit disappointing that we're in August and this locomotive still has not been pushed into other timetables. I would expect at least 2 or 3 by now. Because with the Voyager, that was pumped out pretty quickly into other timetables, wasn't it? You could use it on the Birmingham Cross City line, the West Coast Main Line, Birmingham to Crewe. trying to think of other routes that you can use the Voyager on. The Manchester Airport commuter, funny enough. So yes, it's curious why Alan Thompson Simulations is going so slow. I mean, he's not a solo developer, he has a team of people. How many I do not know, but it's not hundreds as compared to Dovetail. But I imagine it would have a similar sized team as to the likes of maybe All Aboard Studios and Just Trains, certainly. And their first product they launched, the Manchester Airport commuter, I thought that was a good, solid first step into Train Sim World. The route looked good. Yes, the multiple unit was exactly the same as what was previously featured in the Glossop line, so it's basically a dovetail train bundled into Alan Thompson Simulations' first route product. But I thought, you know what, that was a good first step. The route was well modelled, the scenery was fantastic. I loved the branding on the platforms and the services. The timetable was really, really good. So I thought, you know, they're just taking one step at a time. Maybe the next product they would be a bit more ambitious, and they certainly have been ambitious. I mean, they've made the second ever freight locomotive for TSW, but I'm not so sure that it it's as good as I expected it to be. My expectations were pretty high for this one. I mean, don't get me wrong, the model itself is good. I've got nothing to complain about that. My only major complaint is the fact that the machine room isn't modelled. That really ticks me off. I mean, even if they put an invisible wall halfway down the machine room, it will be hard, but I would accept that, rather than having no machine room at all modelled in the game. So the fact that it isn't is a huge disappointment to me. Oh, there's a train. It was the first one I've seen in a while. I'm just checking on it. Does that say it's off? Oh, it's the clipboard light. Okay. For his instrument lights for a minute. You can tell I need new glasses. Then again, I am sitting quite far back from my TV / monitor. I mean, one good thing I'll say about this particular timetable is that at least it's smooth, I suppose. That's something, right? Trying to find positives. What's that? That's the ADD alarm reset. Okay. In my hands, I've got the PS5. Recently got a new PS5 Pro controller because my other one decided to give up again. So I thought, screw it, I'll buy the PS5 Pro controller so it lasts a bit longer than the one I had before. And I've got the vibrations settings set to maximum, and it feels pretty good. It's impossible to tell whether the physics are identical to the real locomotive in real life, because I'm not sat in the seat of an actual Class 90 locomotive, so I can't give you a definitive answer as to whether it feels as realistic as it would do in real life. But it feels good to me. There's a bit of weight to it. And it rides beautifully, I have to say. I mean, I have to remember I've got two of them as well. Oh yeah, the windows. Do the windows open? Close? Oh, you got a blind. That's cool. Can you not open the window? No, I don't think you can open the window. You've got a blind here. Then you got the vehicle number and the maximum speed, which is 110 miles per hour. I must be honest, I haven't tried out the scenarios. The scenarios on paper sound quite interesting. So I'll definitely dive into that and have a little play with it. Not now, obviously, I haven't got time for that, but in my spare time. Later this week. I've noticed the GSMR radio has turned itself off. That's not related to this locomotive, that's related to every single multiple unit locomotive, not British, I should say, traction that has the GSMR radio that's operational in the game. For some reason it decides to turn itself off midway through a journey and then turn itself back on. You can't even use the buttons now. It doesn't say like increase brightness, decrease brightness, or the volume. For some reason the GSMR radio's decided to shut up shop and go on strike. So you got the direct brake, the train brake. The direct brake is for the locomotive, and obviously the train brake is for the train. I do like you can hear that squeal as you go around a slight curve or a long curve. So that's the view. See if you can see the suspension. Yeah, that you can see it. I'm glad you can actually see that in it. You see the suspension moving around a bit. Speed limit will increase temporarily to 90, then it'll be 85 shortly, as we're just 11 miles to go from Watford Junction. Hi, Simon. Nice to see you. Hope you're well. Normally we do last night. Yeah, I mean, I was planning to get this originally on day one, but to tell you the truth, I've simply forgotten about it. I know I did a news video about it a while back, showing my excitement for it, but I've been so busy lately I just haven't had time to get it. But recently I picked it up and thought, well, let's give it a whirl, see what it's like. Well, I do agree with you. It baffles me why this timetable is just so dead. I mean, I don't know if Alan Thompson Simulations has taken out a huge chunk of AI, along with a small, well, say small, along with quite a big chunk of playable services, and I just question why. I mean, this locomotive has 15 services. If you're really concerned of timetable performance, you would surely just take out, I don't know, 15 or 20 services, not what, nearly 200 at least playable services. AI, I have no idea. No idea. But like you said, Simon, hopefully over time it will be implemented into, well, at least more than one timetable, hopefully, 2 or 3 at a push, because like I was saying earlier, this locomotive came out in March time, and we're in August and it still has not been implemented onto at least another timetable or 2. I'm just shocked by that. Like, it's not on Alan Thompson Simulations Manchester Airport commuter, which I thought would be day 1, to be quite frank with you. Same can be said for Trent Valley. That's come out recently, and I say recently, a month or 2 ago, and that could have been implemented into and the Class 90 could have been implemented into that timetable, be it a reduced version or the full version, but nope. Same can be said for the West Coast Main Line, West Midlands route, as I call it. What I do know is that when this did come out at first, it wasn't received well. I think it came out with a lot of bugs and things that were broken with it. So maybe it's kind of a blessing in disguise that I'm taking a look at it now rather than 3 or 4 months ago. I don't know how bad those bugs were and how many there were. There was on the Class 90. But what I can tell you is that right now it's in a better condition than what it was on release day. I mean, God knows how bad it must have been. Given the amount of criticism I've seen I saw the reviews on the Steam page, and I think it was like, what was it, only 25% of people recommended it, which is very, very bad. I have to say, even Dovetail's products don't get that bad ratings. It was like written in red, mostly negative. Let's see if I can look at the reviews of the version on Steam, like when it first came out. It must have been like a bugs list as long as your arm, surely. Let me just check. Steam store. Yeah, mostly negative. 24% of the user reviews for this game add-on recommend it. Okay. Let me just have a look. Ah, here we go. Here's a pros and cons list that someone has written out on the forums when it first came out. Back in April, actually, not March. I do apologise. Either way, it's still a fair while ago. What were the cons? The exterior textures are grainy and low resolution up close. Okay. Cab interior textures are worse. Were worse back then, apparently. Especially at night with the cab light on. Really? That is interesting. Visible color maps on the switches, pixelated text on the panels. That I have noticed here. That the text on the panels in here are nowhere near as sharp as they should be. That's for sure. Inconsistent quality. Some screws look fine. Adjacent materials look terrible. I've noticed the buttons there and that little panel there. That is not very good resolution. It's not because of blurry textures and all that kind of crap. It's because it's just bad. Wiper and audio loop doesn't sync with wiper animation. I've noticed that when I tried it out earlier. All wheel blur present. Didn't pay much attention to the wheel blur actually, to be quite honest with you. Let me check it since I've got. Yeah, it's not good. To be fair, I don't play TSW with motion blur turned on, so I can't say whether that's the old wheel blur or not. I didn't even know there was a new wheel blur or an old wheel blur, to be quite honest with you. Only 15 Class 90 timetable services, 4 which are 5 minutes long. Yeah, that I do think is a fair criticism. The GSM radio auto-completes itself, apparently. That's interesting. Okay. What did this person give it out of 10? 3.5 out of 10. Oh my god. That is terrible. But that was like back in April. So, I mean, it must have had a huge patch between April and August. Surely, to God. Okay, we got a red coming up, funny enough. Let's test these brakes out, shall we? Set it to notch 4. How does it sound? It slows down quick, doesn't it? Those brakes are good. Like, real good. But then again, there's 2 locomotives, isn't there? So the brakes are releasing slowly, that is realistic. It's not just immediate. You gotta wait for it, for the brakes to fully release. That is cool. Simon, surprised it wasn't on the Trans Valley line as I came after. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. I'm very surprised that it wasn't in even the reduced timetable. I would have been happy to have seen that in. See the Class 90 in that timetable. So the fact it's not on there at all just baffles me. In theory, yes, you can, put it, just chuck it on either, Trent Valley Line or West Coast Main Line, West Midlands, Manchester Airport Commuter, the East Coast Main Line, the North London Line, via the free roam mode or whatever. You can just, you have that option of getting out of the cab, pointing the cursor down onto the tracks, and then you can select a train to stick on that piece of track and run it wherever you choose. But I do agree that by now it should have been on at least 2 other timetables. But I've got a suspicious feeling that maybe, just maybe, this is already ready to be, or maybe Alan Thompson Simulation has already completed work in implementing this locomotive into other timetables. Maybe. But it's being held back by Dovetail so it can be stuck into the next game. Train Sim World 7. It won't be the first time that Dovetail's done that. They've held big updates for content before in order to get more players to get the new version of the game. They did it in Train Sim World 3, if I recall. There was a big updates for Transpennine, Peninsula Corridor, the Long Island Railroad, the original version at the time. And there were updates, big updates for it, like, newer sky system, not lighting, what was it, PIS displays were a big thing back then. Yeah, they held it back, those big updates to those routes for the release of TSW3, and then they pushed them out, but only after you purchased TSW3. It remains to be seen if Dovetail will put out that free version of the next Train Sim World game, like they do it every time a new version of the game comes out. They put out a free version, but of course that free version doesn't include the new routes and locomotives. I think it's just purely for the new menu music, new features and all that kind of stuff. I presume the updates to content that you already own would apply to that version. Okay, so the south departure sidings at Wembley. It's Wembley, isn't it? Yeah, it's Wembley. I'm not losing the plot, am I? Yeah, it's Wembley. Yeah, the south departure siding number 7 is just under 8 miles away. Let's see if a train go by again, shall we? The run by sounds, I have no complaints about. That sounds good. No issues with audio there. So that's a positive. What would be fascinating is when the Class 70 comes out, you can then compare the Class 70 and the 90 and see which one is best. But you have to keep in mind as well that, of course, the Class 70 is a diesel locomotive, so you could pretty much substitute that into every single existing Class 66 freight service in the entire game. Whereas at the Class 90 it is restricted because it is an electric locomotive to, well, routes that have overhead line equipment in the UK routes, to be more specific. So it's got a smaller, how should I say it? It's got a smaller portion of routes that you can run it on. But that is when it eventually gets implemented into those other timetables. Because at the moment in timetable mode you can only do the Class 90 or operate the Class 90 on this route and its own timetable, which is a shame, I have to say. We're in August now. Yeah. Really like it to take. I really would like to take this out on the Trent Valley line. Obviously, as that is now the longest UK route in Train Sim World. That will be a good challenge for this locomotive. And also the formations. I don't know if you can run services that have just one Class 90 locomotive or two Class 90 locomotives. I presume they change it up a bit, right? You would think that. Whoa, there's some people on the tracks there. Good God, I just killed them. I just ran over and killed them. Blood splattered all over the windscreen. That I've never seen before. There you are. That is something you do not see every day. Oh, that's crazy. This game honestly is full of weird surprises. I don't know. Anyway, we're just over 3 miles away from the sidings at Wembley. Simon, yeah, apparently the bugs were game breaking and took ages to fix. Did it really take ages to fix? Blimey. If it took ages to fix, as far as bugs were concerned, no wonder implementing on other timetables is taking an age. Free rims, no substitute for timetable services. You want the train to be on AI2. Now that is a very good point, absolutely. And that does raise an important question. Does this locomotive does this timetable have any specific AI services? I don't mean like the AI taking over the playable services, I mean just specific AI services that you cannot operate. That would be very interesting to know. I mean, we're coming into central London and it feels like, you know, we're not coming into central London, you know what I mean? Or North London, since we're stopping at Wembley, you know what I mean? And this is like, what, 20 past 3 now in the game, you know, it should be heaving, man. You know, lots of trains. I mean, I've seen a couple of, TFL trains. I saw a 7 Accidentally put it in emergency, but that's a great sound for the emergency brakes, I have to say. Yeah, I've seen a couple of TfL trains and a okay-ish number of Pentolinos, but definitely 350s are on the downside. We'll just wait for the brakes to release. That was my fault there, but I like the sound the emergency brakes made. They were good. Oh yeah, what's the seat look like? I think from a distance the seat looks not great, but okay. Obviously when you look closer, right at the top of his seat, it lacks a bit of sharpness there, I have to say. I've got a funny feeling they may have just toned down the graphics of this locomotive, interior and exterior, just a little bit, so maybe it could run a bit smoother. Can we move yet? Apply the power, full power. Have I killed it? I can hear the brakes releasing, so still, so put it to neutral, stick it to the forward position. Yeah. Okay, so the brakes should be fully released. There we go, power is applied. But the train don't want to move. Oh no, there we go, spoke too soon. That does feel quite, as much as it is a pain, it is realistic to see the brakes, take a while to release. Be it in, throwing the notch into full service or emergency. That is fairly realistic, and it's taken a while to move as well, which is good. I like the feeling of weight that this train has. It feels really, really nice. Physics, as far as I'm concerned, feel pretty good. Pretty good. I've got to be honest with you. It's not a train that just takes off. I mean, like I said, we've got 2 Class 90 locomotives, and it still takes a while to get moving, which is good. That I do appreciate. So as far as physics are concerned, no issues with that, as far as I'm concerned. Yes, I know we're speeding, but that's my fault. Me too busy talking. Simon, the only non-drivable service might be Primrose Hill to Wembley, but even that could be drivable. I'll check that. I'll double check that. Oh look, speaking of a 19, there's another one. Oh no, the liveries are mixed and matched too. Oh, I like that. That's cool. It's a Deutsche Bahn blue livery there. I imagine the length of these container trains are all the same, I would think, right? quite like to run this on the North London line, give these brakes a bit of a workout, you know, especially when it comes to adverse signalling in the rush hour period. You know, lots of Class 7, 8 trains running around doing their thing. It just kind of feels to me like the West Coast Main Line South is a bit of an easy route for this locomotive. You know, it's kind of a walk in the park. I would like to give this Class 90 a bit of a workout, a bit of a challenge on another route, like Trent Valley, like North London Line. For sure. Simon, if you're not sure, Primrose Hill is just after London Euston. That's a good, yeah. I mean, I imagine they will take over this train after I've finished this service. Break. Yeah, good. Okay, the AI immediately takes over. Okay. So that took me over an hour, despite me yapping on and on and on, and having a look around the locomotive at Milton Keynes. I do want to get out of this train and let it run away. You can hear the AWS going off outside. What the hell? So it's off. The AI takes over. Okay, that's off. And it's now withdrawing and going out of the map. Okay, where are the sidings around here? They're just over there, aren't they? Let's see if you could just walk over here, get out of the way, just in case there's some trains that are coming in and out of the sidings. I don't want to just plonk a train down on a set of tracks that the train is going to be ending up on. Why on earth is that going off? The engine... Stop! Jesus Christ, that's loud. Why is it going off? I'm not even in the cab. Okay. Well, okay, I'll restart it and then I'll delete it and I'll plop down the extra liveries. Just want to have a look at them. See if they look good, I suppose. Or accurate. Yeah, I agree, Simon. More 350s. I don't know how many 350s were cut from the original timetable. I'm not sure. Right. I'm getting out. Right. So, oh, that's a good sound when the doors open and close. I like that. That's a good sound. That's a good sound. Right, I'm going to delete it. So that's gone bye-bye. And I'm going to stick down another Class 90. Okay, yeah, so you can stick down any of the variants in the Class 90. The grey, the green old, the green new, which we've already used, the Deutsche Bahn blue and the Deutsche Bahn red. Let's use this one. So it's 16 container wagons, be it empty or loaded. That's all you can have. And you can also spawn in just a single Class 90 locomotive. Okay, so this is the Class 90 in the Freightliner grey livery. Yeah, the logos are not super sharp, but they get the job done. You can see there the Arrows logo there, Bars and Arrows logo, that is 3D, so that's good. And there's a little plaque here of an eagle, bird, and there's a 3D plaque, that's cool. I think the graphics of the paint itself are a little bit on the not blurry side, but just it's a little bit less crispy, not as sharp. But I like the weathering on it, that is for sure. Is it the same on the other side? I imagine it is. Yeah. Okay, so that's the grey one. Let's stick in one of the Deutsche Bahn ones. Oh no, let's actually stick on the green one, the old one. I want to know what the difference is with that. So let's say stick this one here. So this is the old Freightliner green livery, and I think there were some swooshes of yellow. Let's see if I can just stick down another one, just so you can see the differences of the two green Freightliner liveries. Apparently that's called the green Power Hall livery. So yeah, this has more of a wave to it, where more yellow is displayed on the ends of the cab of the locomotive compared to this one, where there's no wave, if you want to call it like that. So that's cool. I like the fact there's some differences there, noticeable differences. Let's delete this. I like the sound of the locomotive when it's just sitting there on tick over. Class, not colliery, you idiot. Class 90. Deutsche Bahn red, why not? Not like we've got enough Deutsche Bahn red locomotives in the game. Let's get up on the platform. So you got the DB logo at the front there, and the number font is different too. That's cool. And it's just red with black or grey. See the weathering again. That is good. The Deutsche Bahn logo, I have to say, that's the sharpest logo I've seen on the side of this locomotive so far. That is good, very good. You can see the some information there on the Class 90 on the side. This is a 90-0. The weight, the brake force, tonnage, maximum speed. That is cool. I like that. I'm not sure if that was present on the Freightliner green or old liveries. That's cool. I think the red's my favourite so far, despite me getting annoyed now and again of seeing so many Deutsche Bahn red trains in this game. Let's try the blue one. And yeah, it's just blue. The event's 3D or not, hard to tell. I'm not sure. I suppose they are. I'll give ATS the benefit of the doubt. And the difference with the blue Deutsche Bahn livery is that there is no massive Deutsche Bahn logo at the end of the locomotive. There's one by the cab window here. So again, that is a nice differentiation, other than the colour. So yeah, I think that will call it a day. I think looked at all the liveries. Okay. have a cup of tea after the stream. Got a sore throat. Well, not a sore throat, but I know I can tell my voice on the croaky side. Oh, it's better. In summary, what should I say is, before I do go further, let me just check. This locomotive does have a journey mode, right? I haven't checked that. Drive the next generation of express travel freight with the Skoda. Is that what it's called? Okay. Is that his nickname? Okay, so it's got a journey mode at least 2 chapters. Not much in them, but at least a journey mode is included. Okay, in summary, it's a mixed bag, that's for sure. What shall I say is positive about it? The physics, I think, are good. The physics, I have no complaints. It feels good, feel a bit of weight to it. I like the brake physics, I like the suspension physics. Absolutely no problem with that. Sounds, I think that's a bit of a mixed bag as well. I think when the locomotive starts to accelerate at full power, the sound is brilliant. I love it reverberating in the cab. It has that depth. Horn, not so sure though. I think that could do with a bit of work. I think that the sound is accurate. Again, it just lacks... I don't know, it just lacks something to me. It's not quite right. For liveries, I do appreciate having 5 liveries straight out of the gate with this locomotive. What was that? 2 Deutsche Bahn liveries, 2 Freightliner liveries, 3 I should say, including the grey one. Other positives. The model looks good inside and out. I can have little complaints about that. My only issue with the models themselves is that the graphics on them just lack a little bit of sharpness. When you really get into the details, it just lacks that little bit of crispness to it. Yeah, and I like the fact you can, I don't know, operate it with 2 Class 90s as opposed to 1, maybe? I suppose it's a positive. And now for the disappointments. The lack of gameplay is hugely disappointing. It needs to be on way more timetables, and I think it needs to be implemented on as many timetables as possible, at least before the end of the year. I'm surprised it's taken this long. It came out in April, we're now in August, and nothing seems to have happened as far as enabling it to be run on other timetables. The lack of a machine room is, for me, I think the biggest letdown of them all. I was expecting this locomotive to have a machine room modelled, maybe not super detailed, but at least be present, and it's just not there, and that is infuriating to me. Yeah, it's certainly a mixed bag, that's for sure. Another positive I need to add is that it's not as expensive as I thought it was going to be, considering this is the second ever UK freight locomotive in Train Sim World. ATS could have quite easily, Alan Thompson Simulation, to be more specific when I say ATS, in case you don't know what that means. They could have easily bumped the price up to £20 because people would have jumped at the chance when a new UK freight locomotive would be, announced in Train Sim World. So I'm very pleased that it is fairly well priced, in my opinion. I was expecting it to be a lot more, but it's £12.99 in the UK at the moment, which is, I think, very, very reasonable. As it stands, this is certainly not a perfect product. Do I recommend you get it? If you're expecting it to be enabled on other timetables, the answer is no. I wouldn't recommend getting it at all. The gameplay is just not there as far as I'm concerned. Scenarios, I don't know. I haven't tried it, to be honest. It might be really, really good. But as far as timetables are concerned, it is very disappointing. The timetable it comes with is just dead to me. Way less services for some reason on the Class 90 weekday timetable of the West Coast Main Line South. But it is a fair price, and I think the locomotive at least feels good, and the variation is certainly there when it comes to liveries. So if you want to get this locomotive and run it around on free roam mode and do what the hell you want with it, that's fine. I think you would have fun with this locomotive. It feels good to operate. The sounds are reasonably good. There's obviously room for improvement, but it's better than what I expected. So out of 10, I think I will give it... I think it's going to be low because I am a bit disappointed with it. I'm going to be honest. So I think I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It's like, it feels like it's getting there, but it's not quite there. It's certainly a mixed bag as far as I'm concerned. So it's a 5 out of 10 for me. There is a lot of room for improvement. God knows what this locomotive must have been like when it first came out. I'm glad I picked it up today. Otherwise I would have given it probably, I don't know, a 2 out of 10 or something if I picked it up in first day it came out in April. So that's my first look at the Class 90 locomotive. It's okay, but it's not quite good enough yet. A lot of room for improvement, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm disappointed. I can't lie to you. I had high hopes for this one. I looked at it on the store. The price was reasonable. I thought, oh hey, this is made by ATS, Alan Thompson Simulation. This should be really, really good, and it just hasn't delivered for me. So yeah, I'm a bit deflated, not gonna lie. But that concludes my first look at the Class 90 electric locomotive for Train Sim World. If you have enjoyed this stream, feel free to hit the thumbs up button below, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate if you would do so. And as always, I will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.